Have you been wondering how to name your OC? Well, I have some tips for you. I think I really make original names. I've seen some other videos on how some people do it, but I do it a very special way. Now, my way is if you're focused on like trying to make something with other languages, but for the most part, I think this works. So if you saw my other video where I said how to make an OC, well, in the last video, I told you guys that on this website, you can pick 5 positive traits, 5 negative traits. Now, I use those, right? So I'm going to pick 5 positive and 5 negative, right? But while I'm picking these, I did want to point out that you have to pick ones that make sense, right? So, for example, I picked benevolent, brilliant, calm, capable, and meticulous for the positive ones. Now, for example, I cannot pick scheming because if the character is benevolent, he's not going to be sitting there scheming people, right? And scheming how to trick people. He's not tricking people because he's supposed to be a positive influence over others. But I mean, there's some characters that are like that. You know, evil priests tend to do that. But that's not what I'm going for. I'm not making a normal character. I'm just making a name. Now, here's a good one. So because I picked benevolent, I could technically pick something like unrealistic. Because sometimes people who are benevolent tend to be very idealistic, which means that they can be very unrealistic about expectations. And they're presumptuous, meaning that they like to assume stuff about people, right? They assume stuff about people, and because they're smart, maybe that makes them, take a step back, but they do often like to make assumptions. I think with having all this, I think having a benevolent, brilliant, forgetful, unrealistic character would be fun. So I'm going to put forgetful as one of his traits. And I'm going to continue looking here. Let's see what else. I have meticulous, so I need something that can really go against that. So he wouldn't be careless because he's like all into his stuff. So I feel like he might be a bit arrogant because he does meticulous work. So he notices all the details, so maybe he would be a little bit arrogant about that. So now I'm at 5, right? And since I'm at 5, now we're going to go to Google Translate, right? Oh my goodness. Google Translate, please. Now, I'm going to just pick something from Solstice because, well, Solstice is French, and that's easier for me to play with right now since I don't have to look all over the world for this. So where is French on here? Okay. So what I do is I basically take the traits. So I'm going to put brilliant in, right? It's going to give me words like this. Now, not all of these are going to be good words, right? Some of them are going to be like, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that. It doesn't really look like a word I can use without it looking like exactly like the term. So that kind of looks cool, right? So we're going to take this and I'm going to put it in like a little text document. And I'm going to put all these words in here, right? So I can't use this. I don't like it. It's kind of ugly. And let's put benevolent in. Oh, that looks like just like brilliant. But you know what? I do kind of like that little middle part and that like Ilante part. So I'm going to take that, right? Because you're going to do this by aesthetics. You're going to name the characters using aesthetics with these words, right? So these words are only for you to be like, I like the way that looks. You're not trying to do anything else. So let's get capable. Okay. It's the same? Okay, no, here we go. So it has actually other words. So you can take some of these words like, I like this one. Accomplished, clever. I think that's a cool word. So we're going to put that in the document as well. And let's see what else. Okay, so we're going to do some of these negative traits now. I don't really like, you know what? I kind of like the masculine form because of the sif, right? So we're going to take this. And okay. Now I'm going to do this with the other bits so I don't like bore you. Okay, so now that I have these words, these are the words here. I don't know how to pronounce any of these, but that doesn't matter. I know that you can use probably like AI that has a voice to see what these sound like afterwards, but we're not going to do that right now. We'll do that after. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take these words and you're just going to like kind of make a mishmash and kind of put these letters together and these words together and kind of sift through them until you figure out the name that you like. So I'm going to do that, and when I'm done, I'm going to show you what I made. Okay, so I have a name, and I think you guys can see it. It's this one right here. I don't know how to say that, but what I did is I just kind of went through these and I sifted, and technically what it is a mix between these obliao, that blia, however you say it. It's that one. It's this one. You can see it. This one and that. So I like the way this looks. That looks very French to me. So we're going to take it over to one of these like AI things, natural readers online, just to see if it can be pronounced, because that's the actual thing. It needs to be pronounceable because a lot of people make fantasy names that aren't pronounceable at all. So I just picked a random dude that's French. You're going to have to pick a language. If you have a like OC language, that's going to be a little bit harder. We're going to go here and I put the name in. And we're going to hear how this sounds now. I think that sounds good to me. If I made a real character with this, this is probably going to be a female name. I feel, or it could be a male name. Let's try again. Let's see. I feel like it should be a male name. There's something about it that, yeah, it's like a male name. I also wanted to bring up a few more things about how to name your characters before I go. So, since you guys have this, which was the Oubliante, I also use FantasyNameGenerators. It has a plethora of names. It has fantasy and folklore. As you can see, this is a crazy website. It even has pulp culture, like stuff from lore you could use. One of mine that I actually take from is from Legend of Zelda. I use, which one is it? Legend of Zelda, sorry. It's the Minish. I use Minish names for certain type of fairies in my world. So that's kind of just one of the things that I use. This is really amazing. You can continue to generate names here, and these are Celtic Welsh names. I kind of use them for my lower born elves. And here's another thing I use. I actually use maps from the location. As you can see, there's like all these street names. Street names are amazing because you can just get like old stuff that's not really used anymore as a name, so it sounds super unique. And I mean, I just literally just use Paris because I have a French area. I also go and I look up old names online, right? Like, and there's usually websites. This is old medieval names. I have this as a resource. This is gonna sound weird. I use Find a Grave. So if you can find a cemetery in the country that you're looking for, you can also look up the people that are buried there. And if they have if it's like an old cemetery, you can get really weird names that aren't really used anymore. Like there's one in a specific cemetery in West Virginia where someone was named Seaborn. And I thought that was really cool. But I feel like this will be like lesser probably liked, but it's something I do use as a resource. And if you guys are trying to learn how to make OCs, I'm going to redirect you back to my video about making OCs. So you kind of understand where this video is starting from. And like and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. And you know what? Tell me if this helped you. And, if you have some ideas or you have some questions on like how to make characters, or if you'd like to ask me, because I've made over like 200 characters. So I am well aware and shortcuts and easy way to make characters. So ask me. I would love to help you. So I'll see you guys next time.